Congratulations, David.
Thank you. Looks like I'll be back for a few more meetings, I guess.
I think so.
Okay, you ready now, Kelly? No?
I see Bob found his way on screen. He's muted.
No sound.
Okay, I called my wife and she fixed it.
Oh, yeah.
I lost the
That's
sound.
good.
Okay, I'm having technical difficulties, but we can always push it live to YouTube later, the recording. So,
Okay, we will do that then. Okay, I'll call a meeting to order. Record of attendance, please. Been taken. Approve the agenda moved by Stevens, seconded by
Judy?
Judy. Anything on the question?
Yes. Mr. Chair, under number 6, the committee reports, under A, Finance Committee, the last motions to MCCB, shouldn't that be MCBB, the Municipal Capital Borrowing Board?
Yes.
Thank you.
With the noted clarification, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Conflict of interest disclosure, if any? There being none, adoption of the minutes of the November 1st, 2022 regular board meeting moved by
Powell.
Bob Powell, seconded by
Judy?
David Plessy. Anything on the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Committee reports. Director Morrison, please. See, I don't see him on there.
Either.
Mr. Chair, are we going to adopt the minutes November 1st?
We did that. We just did it, Bob.
Perfect.
Mr. Chair, no, Director Morrison is not there. To be Director Erickson.
Director Erickson, would you like to do the finance committee reports, please?
You bet. So this is respective of the finance committee that met on the 23rd of November, 2022. The meeting began with a presentation of the attached staff reports on signing and spending authorities by acting ED Brett McCrae. The committee unanimously agreed with staff's recommendation, and the accompanying motions are at the end of this report. Mrs. Langdon then received the staff report regarding motions to borrow from the Municipal Capital Borrowing Board, MCCB, in accordance with the 2023 budget. These motions are required annually after budget approval. Lastly, Mrs. Langdon gave a verbal update of the post-closure fund liability calculation. She stated that given our EIA approval to expand the height of the landfill, the life expectancy of the landfill will change. The consultants and engineers are reviewing this file now, and she hopes to have a presentation on this to the Finance Committee in early 2023. There being no further business, that concluded our meeting. So shall I read the motions, Mr. Chair?
Yes, if you don't mind.
Not a problem.
I'm just joining the meeting now, but would you go ahead, Greg?
Okay.
I had trouble getting on with the internet.
No problem, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
I move that the board receive the report of the Finance Committee dated December 6th, 2022.
Second, Judy?
Moved by Deputy Mayor Erickson, seconded by Mayor Judy Wilson-Shi. Anything on the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Second motion, be it resolved that effective January 1st, 2023, the following signing authorities are established with respect to all expenditures of the Capital Regional Service Commission. All checks and electronic fund transfer issued for payment of expenditure shall bear 2 signatures. For all divisions within the Capital Regional Service Commission, with the exception of the Solid Waste Division and Planning and Development Services Division, signatures from any 2 of the Chair of the Board, Chief Executive Officer, the Executive Director, the Chief Financial Officer, or the Secretary. For the Solid Waste Division of the Capital Regional Service Commission, signatures from at least 1 of the Chair of the Board, the Chief Executive Officer, the Executive Director, Chief Financial Officer, or the Secretary, and 1 other of the Chair of the Board, the Chief Executive Officer, the Executive Director, the Chief Financial Officer, or the General Manager of Solid Waste. For the Planning and Development Services Division of the Capital Regional Service Commission, signatures from at least 1 of the Chair of the Board, Chief Executive Officer, Executive Director, the Chief Financial Officer, or the Secretary, and 1 other of the Chair of the Board, Chief Executive Officer, the Executive Director, the Chief Financial Officer, the General Manager of Planning and Development, or the Manager of Operations and Planning. I so move.
You heard the motion. Any seconder, please?
Second, Ian Kitchen, David.
Second by Ian Kitchen. Anything on the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next
I
motion,
shall
please.
continue. Be it resolved that all purchasing shall comply with all relevant legislation, such as the Procurement Act, the Local Governance Act, the Clean Environment Act, and all regulations relating thereto. The equipment, materials, and service requirements of the Commission shall be acquired at the lowest cost consistent with the quality and level of service necessary. Purchase orders for equipment, materials, services shall be signed by the authorized personnel. Effective January 1st, 2023, the following purchase authorities of the Capital Regional Service Commission shall be as follows. A, Chief Executive Officer, up to $200,000. The Chief Executive Officer may assign up to $80,000 of his or her purchasing authority to employees as required. B, Executive Director, up to $162,500. The Executive Director may assign up to $65,000 of his or her purchasing authority to employees as required. C, the General Manager of the Solid Waste Division, up to $130,000. The General Manager may assign up to $52,000 of his or her purchasing authority to employees as required. D, the General Manager of Planning and Development Services, up to $13,000. The General Manager of Planning and Development may assign purchasing authority up to $5,200 to employees as required. Purchases above the established purchasing authority limits shall be approved by the board through board motion or approved annual budget. So move.
You've heard the motion. Can I have a seconder, please?
David.
Seconded by David Duplessis. Anything on the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
I'll continue. Be it resolved that the Regional Service Commission 11 submit to the Municipal Capital Borrowing Board an application for authorization to borrow for capital expense in accordance with the 2023 budget for the following term and amount. Environmental Health Services equipment purchase, and the amount is $1,060,000 over a term of a 5-year lease. I so move.
You've heard the motion. I have a seconder, please.
Second, Stephen.
Second by Stephen Sharp. Anything on the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next motion, please.
Be it resolved that the Regional Service Commission 11 submit to the Municipal Capital Borrowing Board an application for authorization to borrow for a lease in accordance with the 2023 budget for an amount not to exceed $70,000. I so move.
You've heard the motion.
Second, Judy.
Seconded by Judy Wilson Shi. Anything on the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next motion, please.
Be it resolved that the Regional Service Commission 11 submit to the Municipal Capital Borrowing Board an application for authorization to borrow for a capital expense in accordance with the 2023 budget for the following term and amount. Environmental Health Services power generation, engine block swap. The amount is $1 million and the term is 5 years. That's a move.
I
You've heard the
second the motion.
Seconded by Director Morrison. Anything on the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you, Greg. Eric,
Welcome, Mr. Chair.
Community Policing Committee, Director Wilson, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Listed for your information are the attendees from the executive group and other community representatives who were also present. The advisory forum of the Community Policing Committee met on November 29th, 2022. The meeting was called to order at 6 p.m. and began with the presentation of the monthly stats attached by Paul Gallinger of Crime Stoppers. He asked the group to share the stats with their community members. The website for the organization is www.crimenb.ca. Sharing the information could lead to more tips, which can lead to more crimes being solved. Sergeant Martel then reviewed the quarterly reports, which are attached to this report. Superintendent of West District, Andy Leclerc, advised the group that the district commander is in the process of getting more members added to the region, which will add to the increased police presence. He also advised of new legislation in place regarding Cadillac converters, and that the district commander is pushing for legislation to prepay at the pumps. The RCMP is also in the process of placing a member out in each school in the region, high schools being targeted first. This is to provide education, presentations, and mentorship to students. Dan Goodwin of the Department of Public Safety gave a verbal update of what's going on at the department. The billing for municipalities has gone out and shows an increase of approximately 5.63% over 2022. The new entities will be hearing from the department shortly as to what the costs will be. There are a lot of changes coming January the 1st with local government reform. However, the policing piece has been pushed to January 2024. Reviews are being done on municipal police forces to see if there is adequate policing within communities in the province. Other projects the department is working on include the Seriousness Response Team, SRT, the Integrated Enforcement Unit, and the crime dashboards available on the department website. A roundtable discussion of the group concluded the meeting. There being no further business, the meeting adjourned at 7:42 p.m. I move that the board receive the report of the Community Policing Committee dated December 6, 2022.
Second by Dave Morrison.
You heard the motion. You got a second or anything on the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
The town of Oromocto is never getting any notice of the policing meetings, so that's why we've never had anyone there. And I brought it up before and I thought it was solved, but it still isn't solved. We're having meetings and no one from Oromocto has been invited.
Okay, we'll get staff to make sure town of Oromocto is aware.
Great, thank you.
None opposed. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion's carried. You have an information on the tenders there. Actually, none. Is that right? No tenders. Resolutions for the 2023 meeting schedule. And I believe that has to be amended a bit, doesn't it, Kelly? Is somebody going to speak to that? John, maybe?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chair. Good evening, everyone. For the 2023, we were looking at January 7th or 14th as a snow date. Due to requests from the province and some technical pieces to ensure that all of our new members, all of the new boards and their members will be sworn in, we would like to move that January 7th or 14th to most likely the January 28th. I think Kelly just was able to put it just up on the screen now. And we'll have more information, but there will be a session on the 28th. Mr. Chair, we had spoken earlier today about the 21st, but it wasn't able to be accommodated.
Okay, thank
So
you.
it'd be the 28th of January. That's a Saturday. And we'd be looking at having kind of an information session and maybe a first board meeting at that point in time with mayors, deputy mayors, board chair and their vice chair, and the CAOs from the region to come in. And we'd be having that in the Hanwell Community Center at that time. The rest of the meeting, I believe, is as aligned with the first Tuesday of the month for the meeting schedules.
Okay, thank you. So with the adjustment of the date in January from to January the 28th, 2023, would somebody make the motion to approve the schedule for the 2023 regular meeting,
Judy.
schedule, please?
So moved.
Moved by Judy, seconded by
Paul,
Derek. Anything on the question? All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you, everybody. Update on local government reform, Brett, Maurice.
Well, thanks, Mr. Chair. I'll just do a very brief update. The budgets as submitted, the budget as submitted has been approved by the minister. We are currently working on an agreement with Ignite to deliver economic development services in the region. And we're working with the city of Fredericton to try and finalize an agreement for the delivery of tourism promotion services across the region. We've circulated those materials, those MOUs, and have received some very useful input from both CAOs and board members. And we've done our best to accommodate a good part of the suggestions that we received in those documents. And in fact, the last time we circulated the Ignite MOU, we received a couple of comments back, and they were both favorable, and other CAOs didn't reply. So we assume silence is consent, and so we're working to try and finalize those agreements before the end of the year. That's really all I have. I don't know if Brett's still on, I suppose. Brett?
Yeah.
I am, yeah.
Anything you want to add?
No, I think you've covered it well, Maurice.
Okay.
Okay, if that's all on the update of government reform. Before we adjourn the meeting, I'd just like to say thank you to staff. Yeah, I'll get you in a second, Judy. Thank you to staff for all their work this past year. They put extra effort into it, as we all know, making sure that we all get the information we need in a timely manner, and work pretty diligently on that. I've come to get to know them all a little bit better through the course of the year, because we've had several conversations and meetings. I'd also like to thank all the board members for the support, but also the opportunity to be the chair. And some of you this will be your last meeting. It's been good working with you all. We've had some good wholesome discussions throughout the year on all the topics that we discussed. So I think, as I said before, that our constituents were represented well. I'd also like to congratulate those who were successful in the elections last Monday. I see Richard Corey is here, the new mayor-elect of the village of Harvey and area. Look forward to working with Richard. He and I go back a long way, so see how things go in the next year. Anyway, thank you all for all your hard work and dedication to this area. Also to Maurice, I'd like to thank him for his input on behalf of the province and his transition coordinator. So, and his work trying to push the provincial mandates towards getting completion, being able to explain them well to us, whether we agree, disagree, or whatever. At the end of the day, I think we were all given some good information, and we all asked the questions, and we all pushed back if we needed to. And Maurice handled all those situations very well, I must say, and thank him for all his work in this past year. So with that, I'll ask Judy. You had a question?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Under number 8, the resolutions for the 2023 meeting schedule. Does that not have to be read out? It has in the past.
Oh, I can read it out if you want. for the resolution. Be it who moved that? I can't remember.
Oh, I think I did. But,
And you didn't read it out, Judy.
well, sure, but just, Mr. Chair, it's up to you, but in the past, we've always read the resolution out.
Okay,
So
I wasn't aware of that, so do you
Okay.
want to read it out?
Absolutely. Resolution. Be it resolved that pursuant to section 5.2 of the Regional Service Commission 11 Procedure Bylaw, that the meetings of the Board of Directors for the Capital Region Service Commission for 2023 be as follows. January the 28th, February 7th, March 7th, April 4th, May 2nd, June 6th, Thursday, September 7th, October 3rd, November 7th, December 5th. Such meetings to be held at the corporate office boardroom located at 860 Prospect Street, Fredericton, or at a location of the board's choosing, and including virtual attendance by virtual conferencing platforms.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Judy. If there's no other business, I call for motion to adjourn,
Motion
please.
to adjourn.
Moved by David,
Second it, Bob Powell.
second by Bob Powell. Meetings adjourned 6:51. Excuse me. Thank you all, and I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas and safe travels if you're traveling anywhere. And
Same
thank
to
you.
you.